Welcome to this virtual tour of Chevithorne Barton Garden. I'm going to start on the lawn, heading out from the house, up towards the terrace. The garden, these terraces were originally planted by my great-grandmother, May Heathcoat Amory, who was the first of our family to live here. And then the gardens were then developed by my dad, Michael, who died a few years ago, after which we moved in. And looking down the border, beautiful spring day. Here is the pond, which I remember falling in as a child, and there is what was known as the squiffer up the top. And here is an original photograph taken in 1912, immediately after it was finished, of the squiffer. I don't know where the name comes from, and in a moment you'll see a few photos of what it looked like then. So we're heading past our splendid sundial created by a friend of my dad's called Mark Lennox Boyd, and now we're heading up towards the squiffer, and in a moment we're going to turn around and look out over what is, I guess, the most formal part of the garden towards the mid-Devon countryside. Yeah, past the rose beds which come out in the summer, looking down the hill where we're going to go in a moment, over the farm buildings, down over the Exe Valley. In a moment we're going to head down through the garden, which, as I say, was created by my great-grandmother May Heathcoat Amory, and then developed by my father Michael Heathcoat Amory and my heading down the hill here past the bluebells. They're a cultivar, and beginning to get into the oaks. Now my dad collected oaks, and we have the National Oak Collection, the National Quercus Collection, many hundreds of different kinds of quercus, many of which don't look like quercus. And now we're heading down the hill, past the bridge over the Leat, and that's our dog Bluebell that you can see leading us around the garden. There's the Leat. I remember as a child someone falling in off that bridge, a very satisfying moment as he splashed in. But very beautiful view, I think, up the Leat, identified by Lanning Roper, who wrote an article about the garden in 1960, saying it was his perfect garden. And he loved the view down the Leat. Now we're going to head down into the area of the garden where my dad planted some maples and some acers. Just coming out now. Also our Davidia, our handkerchief tree, looking really perfect just at this moment. Now coming to my favourite bit of the garden, there's a wonderful tulip tree there. Been there for a long, long time. And I passed into this little bit of the garden which my great-grandmother built around a waterfall. It feels totally wild when you come suddenly to the slate bench. You just lose yourself in this bit of the garden with the sound of the water, and I think that was one of the things that Lanning Roper really called out about the garden, was wherever you went in it was the sound of the water. And there indeed is a photograph taken, reproduced in Country Life 1960 of that very spot with some of the same flowers. I thought they got a bit bigger and perhaps a little bit more overgrown since then. I'm heading down here into the woodland garden, also planted by my great grandmother, and good moment perhaps to call out the three great gardeners who work here and create this amazing garden for us. Chris MacDonald, Will Woodland, John Black. It's their hard work, their passion creates this vision for us. We built on the vision of my great grandmother and my father, and continuing to take it forward today. And we're heading down through the woodland garden. Some wild garlic, Chris hates, but those look amazing this time of year. And some the remaining rhododendron or two, maple above it. There's the woodland garden as it looked like in 1960, another photograph from the 1960s. A lot of them were trees, a lot of them were knocked down in the storm a few years ago. It still looks very extraordinary. There's a lot of rare plants in there, in this bit of the garden. Now we're moving on to the leat. Walking out of the garden now. This leat was created by hand about 200 years ago, and to bring water down to the mill diverts the stream down a couple of miles up, and down below you can see my father's arboretum. Now we're moving through into one of our new projects, a lake that we dug out last year. Extend the leat. It's really beautiful. Lots of ducks seem to be congregating here, and we're planning to plant some lots of lilies. And so hopefully next time you come, that will have developed. And we're moving through from the leat into the woodland path that Chris and Will built this year. In the spring, there were a lot of snowdrops and a few bluebells, and we've been thinning it out a bit. It's really beautiful. So we're now going to come out of the woodland, head out into it used to be called the walnut orchard, because 40 years ago my dad planted a bunch of walnuts, but now there are more oaks, more quercus, looking out down towards the south. And now we're moving through into the apple orchard. When I was a boy, there were tapirs kept in here by my stepmother. And we're going to wander up into the area that has our collection of lithocarpus, and also this time of year some really beautiful bluebells. If you can make your way through the bushes, there's a beautiful carpet of, again, cultivated bluebells, so they're slightly different from the wild ones that you can find in the woods this time of year, but still very beautiful. We're heading out now of the lithocarpus area, back through the edge of the apple orchard, past a yellow magnolia. Lots of yellow magnolias in the garden. They're the last to come out, so they're still flowering now. Most of our magnolias are over. And then we're going to head through this bush, if we can push past it, and then back towards where we started, which is the area around the grey gate as we came out of the garden at the beginning of our trip. Now we're heading out towards the vegetable garden, the area of the garden that's looked after by John Black, former soldier, Scots Guards, and the vegetable garden I think is probably almost as regimented as he would like us to be. And now we're heading up into the apple orchard, another apple orchard at the back here, which we've been replanting. And it's rather lovely evening here. Bluebell heading off. I think she's seen a rabbit. The apple orchard now contains a herd of Jacob sheep, so everything has to be quite carefully fenced because the Jacobs will munch. I think they're more goat than they are sheep. But there are at this time of year some rather beautiful apple blossom trees. So worth our while wandering up here, taking a look at them. Now I guess we've come full circle and back out to the front of the house. It's built the Elizabethan, the oldest bit of the house. We've been here since 1912. You saw the photos earlier on. Rather, the daisies out the front and some clematis on the as we go up the steps and head towards the door. Bluebell heading back. Wisteria out at this time of year. Also, rather beautiful small climbing rose. As we come to an end to our tour, I'd like to thank you for joining us. Also to reflect perhaps on my great-grandmother, May, who created the garden. She moved in here, 1911 I think, 1912. That's what the house looked like then. Avenue of elms, replaced by limes, but within 4 years her husband Ludo, who moved in with her, was dead on the Somme. They had 3 children, 3 boys, all of whom were killed in the Second World War. She then lived on here until the 1970s when my dad moved in. And she created the garden. She poured her passion, all the energy that she couldn't spend on her family. She spent on the garden, and we're lucky enough to enjoy it today. We feel very privileged now to share it with other people, and we hope you will join us at Chevithorne Barton as soon as safety allows.